Hi, my name is Bob. I'd like to talk to you today about a cool and innovative way to advertise in central Wisconsin. I'm not a salesman of any kind, actually. I work for Child Protective Services. And in doing so, I spend a lot of time driving around rural Wisconsin, and I have seen a huge advertising opportunity that is not being taken advantage of that would greatly benefit people like realtors or lawyers that rely on commission-based sales. Now, it's not an overly new idea in the realm of advertising, but per central Wisconsin, and even Wisconsin as a whole, it's something that nobody is doing. So, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to close your eyes. Okay, do it, close your eyes. And think of how many cars you saw today on your way into work. Most people would say that they saw at least 50. Some would say they saw over 100. I know I counted one day last week and I saw 78 cars on my way into work. So, and then I want you to close your eyes and think of how many cars have you seen in the past week. If you actually took the time to think about it, you would say you've seen well over 1,000 vehicles in the past week. I know I've seen several thousand vehicles in the past week just because I took the time to think about all the vehicles that I've seen. Now think of how many vehicles have you seen with ads on them? Well, you might be able to say, well, I seen stuff for like the cable company, or I seen stuff for the telephone company, I seen stuff for soda or beer. Basically, you've seen private vehicles that work for big companies. But how many have you seen with actual ads on them? The truth is you've probably seen none. And that is why this is a very attractive, untapped market in Wisconsin. What we're advertising is ad space on vehicles right here. Now, before you sell yourself out of this wonderful idea and you think, no, let me give you some stats. 98% of all people last week in North America traveled in a vehicle like this one. 91% of all people in North America can recall an ad that they saw on it. So what we're offering you is extremely high exposure to a pretty reasonable and low price for advertising. And it's advertising that people remember. Now, I'm not really going to take the time to talk bad about the advertising competitors, but basically, the main competitors are newspapers and billboards. And newspapers, well, they will say that they can get your ad out amongst so many hundreds of people, and really all they do is they have addresses and they print their print media and they send it out to those people. They charge $700 to $1,000 for a full page ad in one issue of the newspaper. That's crazy. That's not $700 for a week. That's $700 for one issue of one newspaper. And then what happens is it gets sent out to places like where I live in a small town, and they just get thrown away. I know I go down to the post office, and the post office had to put out a garbage can because people just kept leaving their print media that's sent to them. Now, billboards are a little bit better, but they're based upon the amount of people that drive by the billboard every single day. So if you're going to get good exposure, then you're going to be paying quite the high price. But the downside with billboards is the fact that eventually it's going to be people, the same people, driving past your billboard every single day, and it's going to become less and less effective as each day goes on. But what if there was an ad that was visible, like a billboard, on the side of a car, that was as large as a double 2-page ad, 2 foot by 2 foot, that could not be crumpled up and thrown away like a newspaper, that was not stationary in one location like a billboard? Well, that's what we're offering to you. So why let us advertise for you? Because, like I said, 98% of all people last week in North America drove in a car. 91% of them can recall an ad that they seen on a vehicle, and it's a vehicle that moves around. It's not just a vehicle that's driving down the roads, but it's a vehicle that could advertise for you when the owner goes to a Walmart. Guess what? Their vehicle is going to be parked outside Walmart for hours while they're in Walmart. So they're advertising for you there. They're advertising for you at Target. They're advertising for you at Quick Trip. They're advertising for you at the doctor should someone get sick. They're advertising for you at parks. They're advertising for you at major summer events. Should they choose to go to the 400 block and see music on the square in Wausau, they're advertising for you there. But that's not all that we're offering. Actually, it even gets better. What we are offering for you is an agreement from the driver of the vehicle that if they're approached by potential clients for you, the salesman, they will then pass out materials. So if you want to give us business cards, we will for sure pass out business cards. If you want to have printed listings of what's recent and relevant for what you have for sale today, we will pass those out to you. Now you might have some questions about the vehicle, quality of the vehicle, quality of the driver. We can talk about that more once you contact me back because this is such an awesome idea. Basically, the vehicles will be all of good quality and the drivers will be all good quality, well-tested people. They will represent you well. They will be private contractors, so there's no liability to you should anything negative happen. So now the next major question. What is the price is what you're wondering. Well, for the decal, that's going to be 2 foot by 2 foot on both sides of the vehicle. We require a $250 deposit before we start advertising. And then we are going to be asking for similar to what a full page, one run of a newspaper ad would be. And that's somewhere in that $1,000 range. You might think, oh, that's really stiff. That's a lot of money to ask. Think of the extreme exposure you're going to get. Think of these major summer events that are going to go on that nobody else is going to be advertising. And guess what? Your ad. We can add add-ons like putting for your details and stuff like that. That's all stuff you can reach out to us and we can add to it. Now you might say, well, you know what? I can do that all myself. I can buy a decal and I can have that made up and I can just put it on my vehicle and advertise for me. Absolutely. And in fact, you should. Any salesman that is not always selling when they're commission-based is not a very good one. You should always be selling. But what we're offering to you is sales. What we're offering to you is advertisement and promotion when you yourself cannot be doing it. You could be at the golf course and I got my person going to Walmart and they're advertising for you. You could be going to Walmart and here's someone going to Target. Multiple locations, multiple other options for you to be advertised. Not just the beautiful picture of you that would be on the vehicle, but also the light salesperson. So really the question comes down to, would you like to put your face on the side of my vehicle?